I realize I've not been doing the greatest at uploading, and I'm gonna keep working on that, so I should be uploading today. Last we talked about some of the major crises happening in crises, but the issues happening in Africa when we lived there, and the uprising, the riots, and the turning over of cars and the craziness. I remember that during that time, it was right around my mom's birthday, which means it would be in March. And I remember our dog died around the same time. And like my mom was super sad because she had a whole bunch of things happening that were difficult. And so the aspect of Africa though that I think that I enjoyed as a kid, as a missionary kid, was probably twofold. I really appreciated the connections that we had with other expats and missionaries in the area. It made for a connection in regards to staying connected to America, if that makes sense. Basically, coming back to the States after that didn't feel as disconnected as it had in other times, or would in other times. Excuse me. So I remember the church that we went to. My dad had started a church that was a local church with the people of Ivory Coast, but then at the same time we attended a international church where it was in English. I remember the building was huge, and I remember there were tons of trees outside that were like really good climbing trees, and we would always go and climb the trees as kids. I remember running around with my friends, the Bucklands, and getting into all sorts of trouble. Africa was also a place where I watched my parents probably relax a little bit more than I saw later on in life, which is an interesting note. That could be just my own perspective, so who knows. But I remember that we would do, there's like two things that we would do often. We would go to the beach. You could go to the beach and they would have these huts where it was just an open door, and you could just use them for like relaxing and stuff. I remember going to the beach a lot with our dogs. I'd throw coconuts out into the water and they'd swim out and grab them and bring them back, kind of our version of fetch with the dogs. And it was great. I remember a whole bunch of times going and hanging out with friends, taking people who came to visit to the beach. It was a lot of fun and relaxing. I also remember, I'm pretty sure it was a hotel that had a water park instead of just a pool, like connected to it. And we would go there, and you didn't have to be attending or just staying at the hotel. Although I'm pretty sure we did at times have people who we knew stay there. But somehow, you probably just had to pay to go to that section only. But we would go, we would swim. I remember learning how to swim there. I remember learning how to float there, which was a really big deal. I'm pretty sure my grandparents came and my granny taught me how to float, if I remember correctly. But there were a lot of times of relaxing. And I think that as I got older, there are different ways that my parents did as I got older, but there was an important aspect to me where doing ministry, doing work, being missionaries didn't mean that you were going at it 24/7, 365. Like, there was an aspect where you enjoyed what you were doing. You spent quality time with the ones that you love, and you got to enjoy your surroundings. You got to see the sights. You got to go relax and play and have fun. I know that that's impacted me greatly as I've gotten older. I've now led a missions trip, and I have gone on quite a few missions trips. And to me, having a day of sightseeing, having a day of having fun and seeing where you're at and appreciating where you're at, to me is a very important aspect of missions. It's the world that God created, and it's amazing and beautiful and has tons to see. You're going to serve people, you're going to be with people and tell them about Jesus, but at the same time, you're going and you're traveling around the world, so you should take time to appreciate it. I think that's really important. And I believe that early on in life, watching my parents take time to enjoy Africa definitely impacted that. That's a lot of what I have for Africa. If I remember correctly, we came back to the States afterwards, so that's where we'll go next. But for today, that's it. We'll see you next time.